Hi everyone, it's Christine from Hollis Hands Create. It's Monday, September 1st, Labor Day, and welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch primarily, sometimes a few other crafty endeavors that I might throw in, but primarily cross stitch. If you're a returning viewer, I'm so happy to have you back, and hopefully you'll become a subscriber. And if you have just wandered in here, happenstance, I hope that maybe you'll stick around, find something of some inspiration to you. Let's get going. So it's a wrap. It's Labor Day, and if you've been hanging with me for this is my 6th year, you'll know that from Memorial Day to Labor Day, I pick a design and with the intention of finishing it in that 3-month time period. Last year, prior to last year, it was kind of an informal SAL. Last year, it became an actual, I guess, formal SAL, so to speak. And so today we're going to talk about that. End of the summer, must mean, right, that the end of that SAL. Also, summer school at the attic, and which I did attend last weekend. And let's see, today we're going to talk, I have a vacation finish because we did do a vacation the first 10 days of the month. The SAL wrap up, summer school, Needlework Marketplace, which happened simultaneously with my attendance at summer school last weekend. I'm going to show you some whips and I have some plans and a couple of giveaways. So settle back. Today here it's rainy and overcast, so hopefully the lighting is okay. I have to really adjust the lights because I wear glasses and I try to avoid glare if I can. But if it's hot where you are, like we were in Arizona last weekend, holy moly, was it hot. Grab your favorite beverage and, hopefully you'll love what you see. Okay, so I'm going to dive right in. I'll talk about the first 10 days of the month because that was my vacation time, and I had filmed right at the end of July, so pretty much dove right into vacation. On Friday the 1st, we flew to Portland, Oregon, and we decided to do a meandering vacation. Again, we've done that a couple of times. We did that in New England a couple of years ago and absolutely loved it. So this time we just had a few stationary plans, but for the most part it was a lot of meandering. And sometimes I find those are the best vacations. We, like I said, landed in Portland on the 1st and then headed east the next morning, did the whole Columbia River Gorge area, and back to Portland, spent the night, checked out the next morning, and headed for Astoria, right at the northern tip of the Oregon coast. and began the 101 highway trek down the coast. And it was a lot of fun. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Day 5, I think, is when we hit, when we got down mid-state and then headed east again because we wanted to get to Crater Lake, which was absolutely just breathtaking when you come up to the top of that rim and you look over and you see that, that lake in that caldera. It's absolutely just stunning. I don't think I've ever seen a color like that, but it was beautiful. I have included some pictures at the beginning, like I always do, where I throw in some pictures of kind of what's happened since the last time I filmed, mostly sometimes with my grandkids. But this time I'll throw in some vacation pictures too. So I did start I had a little new vacation start. That was 1776 by Little Robin Designs. Continuing on with my theme of 1776, let me grab a board, 1776 stitches, which, you know, I showed a bunch last video. And so here was my start and finish. I did start on the 1st and I finished it on the 10th in the airport, literally maybe half an hour before we boarded back to Kansas City. So this is stitched on Seraphim Fabrics Antler Velvet. I'm pretty sure it's called Antler Velvet, not Velvet Antler. I just love it. And you know, I'm not sure, I right as I was getting ready to start, I've already like stopped and gone to pick up things I'd forgotten like 3 times, and this time I'm just going right on through. But this original model was stitched on a lighter kind of ecru kind of fabric, and you barely, in my opinion, you could barely see the little white stars. So I decided to go dark with it, and I love the way it turned out. Those stars really pop. This is little bitty tiny, by the way. I mean, it is really tiny. But I loved doing this. And it was great just for the times we were in the car that I could, you know, pick it up, or in the evening at the hotels, I could pick it up and throw in some stitches, and got it finished. So that was my first thing to show you, which was a new start and a finish. So I'm happy about that. And I kind of go in chronological order for the month because that way I don't miss things. The next thing, after returning, you know, I had to kind of dive back into work. And for those of you who shop with me, I want to thank you for your patience while I've been off and on with the fabric availability. Adam doesn't cut fabric, so if I'm not here, then I have to kind of shut the fabric off. And I've been doing that since my knee replacement in April. But now everything is wide open. I did activate some things when I got back from vacation, but then had to shut them back down when I was gone to Phoenix. And so as soon as I was actually from the airport in Phoenix, I actually sat and just activated all the fabric. And so everything is wide open and ready for your stitching pleasure. So again, thank you for your patience if you shop with me. Let's see. So after I got back, I went to do my section of Let Freedom Ring. I talked about this in my last video that I wanted to get this done. It's been sitting as a whip with this little tiny corner done for probably a couple of years. And I thought, this is crazy. If it's ever going to get done, I have to actually start stitching. So in this last month, and I don't iron mostly, so if there's some wrinkles, I'm sorry. Okay, so you can see I finished up the carriage and the horse, and I extended this further out. Same thing, went up here, across here, and I put in all of this chunk of the I think that's the right elevation of Independence Hall. So I'm pretty happy. These are actually the brown under here. Those are actually eyelets. Ooh, oh, okay. You didn't want to see that, did you? Okay. I'll hold it a little closer. See, I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's actually eyelets going all the way across there. So anyway, glad to have another chunk of that done. Each month I'm going to try my best to, do another, small chunk, and with the goal of actually finishing this. It's a ginormous stitch. 311 by 238 with a lot of coverage. So it's definitely, not small, but I'm happy to have made more progress. I apologize for that. Okay. So Left Freedom Ring got 1, 2, 3, 4 nights to get that chunk done. Then Midnight Watch was the next thing that I picked up. Midnight Watch was my birthday start last year with Becky, Socks for Mom, and a friend of ours, Pat Korean. And Becky and I have birthdays both in October, and we've been doing this, I want to say probably about 5 years now, where we pick something. Our very first thing that we had picked, you can see right back here, is At First Cock Crow by Blackbird Designs out of the Sisters book. And we've just been going ever since, picking a new thing and stitching it. See if there's anything else on the wall. Some of the things are downstairs. No, I don't see. We did Autumn Fractor from Plum Street. That's downstairs. That's one of my favorites. But anyway, so this last year we picked Midnight Watch. Well, Pat, whose birthday's in July, is the only one who actually was almost finished when she started messaging us. And I literally had like maybe a third of the border done, and the cat's tail and a little bit of the moon. So I thought, okay, this is bananas. I need to get this out. This is, supposed to be our birthdays. And the one non-birthday person who's stitching with us finished it. So anyway, I stitched on this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nights and a little bit out in Phoenix, and got the bones of the border wrapped around, and it matched, thank goodness, because we're cutting off the alphabet at the bottom. So you can see pretty much all of this was done, because the only thing I had was a little bit of the moon across here, the tail. I didn't even have the bat up there in. So made some pretty good progress. So I hope to finish this one this month, actually, because I have till October 9th to get it finished. So I'd like to get this wrapped up. Midnight Watch by Blackbird Designs. I'm stitching this on, what am I stitching this on? 36 count Tobias, which is another seraphim linen. Lovely. Looks good. I'm happy with it. So that one's going to get some love here in September. So what did I do after that? Oh, then I flew, because that took me all the way to the 19th. So then I flew on the 20th to Phoenix, worked on Midnight Watch a little bit that evening, and then American Welcome. Now, I did work on American Welcome 2 nights during vacation time as well, because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to leave myself short, because I knew I needed to finish. Paulette was one of the teachers at summer school, and so I really wanted to finish it put in the last stitches with her there and get a picture taken. And that happened. And I'm so very happy. This is American Welcome. All the called for threads, which are DMC and color and cotton. Here is the chart front. And here's my little kit box that I got this in 2023. You can see Paulette signed it right here for me. And I thought, nope, I guess that's all the goodies. So there we go. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do with the box, but I'll figure something out. Now I switched mine to a 40 count classic sampler from Victorian Motto. And I absolutely loved it. And like I said, I finished it on Friday night at summer school. And there were a few people stitching on this at summer school. So that was really cool to, you know, compare our stitching. And absolutely love it. Love it, love it. Now, before anyone mentions that I didn't do the window panes, I didn't want to do the window panes in here. They're itty bitty. It's only 6 stitches. And when I put in the first one, it was so crowded looking, I pulled it back out. So anyway, there it is. Absolutely love it. All done. This wraps up the 2025 Hollis' Summer Holiday SAL. There you go. It's a mouthful. So I'm very pleased. Now if I could ever get Live on Little finished, I want to frame them the same and hang them together. And I just think they make beautiful companion pieces. I did not stitch on Live on Little at all this month. So that was the hashtag. And if you're still, you know, stitching away today, I just say through Labor Day, not necessarily has to be by Labor Day. So if you want take today to finish up, you go for it. And if you didn't get finished, but you made significant progress, that's what this is all about. So no pressure. This is a no real rules, you know, SAL. It's something that I started to kind of make myself have a goal to get something finished and kind of challenge myself. And it just kind of became a yearly thing. And I love it if you joined me. And if you didn't, maybe you'll want to pick something and join next year. So, okay, next after my summer school finish, what did I do? I started, while I was there, Liberty House, I had taken a couple of small things that I had kitted. And the theme of summer school this year was patriotic, kicking off the 200 and, you know, the final year to get to the, I don't even know how they said this. It's the 250 years, but there's actually a name that you can say. Sesquicentennial, maybe, something like that. Anyway, so I pulled out Liberty House from Brenda Gervais with My Needle and Thread and stitched on it. Looks like I only stitched on it one evening, Saturday night, and then a little bit on the a little bit of airport stitching. I mostly read while I was in the airport this time and on the airplane. So just basically started in the middle and worked on the house. That's the main thing in this is, you know, is the house. The rest of it's pretty small amount of stitching. I'm stitching this on 40 count navy bean. I probably could have started a couple other things, but, and let me know if you do this. This has been kitted for a few years. And so I just grabbed the kit and had it in my bag. And then I get out there and I start looking for a few things. And I was like, I must have robbed the threads out of this and never put them back. And so luckily I had, you know, the house color and a couple other things, but I was like, rats. I didn't have the green. I didn't have, you know, a couple of the other things. So anyway, the door, I didn't have the, I think it's putty for the door. And I didn't have that. So I clearly robbed Peter to pay Paul. And Paul got paid, but Peter got robbed. So I have to dig those colors out and work on that. So let's see. That takes me back to, I flew home on the 24th, and on the 25th, I've been stitching a Christmas. I started this on Christmas Eve of 2024, and then stitched on a Christmas Day a little bit, and then it became my 25th of the month stitch. And that is the lovely Noel sampler. Again, Brenda Gervais with I Needle and Thread. Love it. Again, another one that I'd had kitted for a little while. And so for this month on the 25th, what I did was I put in the door, went up this part of the red, these two trees, the key, started on the third tree, and ran out of juice. So that was what I stitched for August. So I think I'm feeling fairly confident that I can get this, you know, get this finished. If you look at it, I think I can easily get this finished by the end of the year. It's beautiful. Beautiful sampler. So again, that will get some love on the 25th of September. Okay. And I don't know about you guys, but do you ever get kind of, I don't know, antsy or something after you've had a finish? Like I had finished American Welcome, and it was something, you know, that was kind of a bigger finish. Smaller in design, but it's really dense, so it's a lot of stitching. So I feel like I was kind of a little bit all over the place. I'm digging through whips, and I'm looking at stuff, and pull out a few things, and then no, I don't really feel like stitching on that after all. So I thought, you know, I have to concentrate on getting a few more whips done. So I pulled out Eliza Hills sampler. And this is a really bad picture, and I apologize. It's really tough. This is an old chart that I don't think is in print any longer, but don't hold me to that. So it's the 1856 Eliza Hills. This one happens to be signed by Mary Riggs. And anyway, it's an English reproduction. And it's not a big sampler. So the reason I think I haven't finished it is because it's a whole lot of confetti stitching. I did the border really fast, and then, you know, started working on all that, the floral, and it's literally every motif is just almost confetti stitching. So I worked on this Friday and Saturday, the 29th and the 30th, because after Noel sampler, the next 2 nights I went back to Midnight Watch and did a little more on Midnight Watch, trying to fill in that moon. So then I got Eliza out. I hope you guys are seeing that well. It is really overcast today, so it's very gray. So what I did was this little floral motif, this little floral motif, this bouquet, and this matching rooster to this rooster. So I felt pretty good with, you know, the progress that I made. And again, this one's that shows you the linen color really well there, but it's so hard to see the detail in this little girl. So I'm going to continue working on her in September. And hoping for a finish. That would be awesome. She really is lovely. I mean, you know, when you get a motif done, you just feel very accomplished because she's is just really so heavy with the confetti stitching. You're switching, you know, 3-4 stitches and switch color. And then after a couple of nights of doing that with her, I was like, okay, let's pull out something. I am beginning to really feel that, you know, autumnal pull. And I worked on changing my house decor this weekend. So I got out my Friday night stitch, which I had just switched to autumn from Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow from Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. And I am stitching mine on a 46 count parchment from Victorian Motto, I believe. Again, there's probably better, the true color. And I hope you can see the detail. So Saturday night, maybe? No, Saturday night was Eliza. Sunday afternoon, watching the Royals game yesterday. I put in these guys, finished the one green stalk, did the tail, because I had just done up the black, and so I finished the tail, and then started on the double corn some more. And I did get a decent amount on those 2 ears of corn done. So the goal in the next couple of Fridays will be to finish up the corn. And then I'm not sure which block I'm going to go to. Maybe the witch, but this one's a really full coverage with the cemetery, so I'm not sure. One of those two, obviously, but so anyway, then I'll be moving up to one of those blocks. I'm leaning towards the witch block. So anyway, another one that the colors are just so gorgeous, and it makes me feel good to look at it. Okay, so that was my month in stitching whips. So now let's talk about a little more of the detail there of what I did in that month. And I think we will pop right to summer school. That was my first time to attend summer school, and I absolutely loved it. We had 5 teachers. I'm going to go through the projects that we received, and then I'll talk about those, you know, with the teachers, and you'll be able to see what we did. Let's see here. I don't think I'm going to I'm not presenting these in the order that the projects came to us. I had to stack these so some things wouldn't fall over, because you got, you know, kits like this. And so anyway, I'm just going to go through how I have them stacked. So we received from Nancy Mills, 5 Times Blessed, oh, holy moly, this kit. And it's with perforated paper and all of the absolutely, I mean, complete down to the easel to stand this thing on when you're finished. Frame, everything. And it looks a little, you're like, okay, that's interesting. Well, the deal is, because she's a button collector, that we opened up this very special package, and inside was this. And let me hold that up against there, see if you can see. Can you see that button? Absolutely beautiful old button. So that's the button that goes in the center of the flag stitching that you do. And I'll just explain. It says, "Dear friend, You hold in your hand a simple and humble button from an extraordinary time in our nation's history. This late 18th century button was most likely around when troops landed on our beaches to challenge our desire for freedom. These buttons were most likely around when Benjamin Franklin said the famous words, "We must all hang together, or assuredly we shall all hang separately." They were most likely around when George Washington asked Betsy Ross to stitch a flag in 1777. This button is known as a colonial button and is easily recognizable by the thick carved pearl disc and drilled centralized brass pin shank. The pearl disc is straight-sided and the face was often carved with circles and rayed lines. Many were also engraved with fine cross-hatching stars and dots. Urban legend tells the story that George Washington, out of pity, bought a conch shell from a poor old man and then had buttons cut from it and wore them on his clothing, thus creating a demand for them. So Nancy went on a real mission. She said she had the idea for this kit, I want to say 3 years ago. So she was on a mission to find 175 of these buttons. And it took her those 3 years to do it. And we each were presented with one. I just think this is just one of the most special projects and kits that we could have received. And I just feel very blessed to have been able to be part of that retreat and to get that kind of a project. I have quite a lot of antique stitching and sewing things, and I'm very excited to put that project together and be able to add that colonial button to my collection. So that was definitely right up there, right? Let's go to the next thing. So the next thing, then we had Katie Strachan, who gave us sparkle sticks. So we got the whole kit to create, and then she did a fantastic presentation on all the crystals and the beads and what kind of beads to use and how to use them, and if you want to buy some, how to buy them. And so we got the whole kit here. I'm just kind of holding this because I don't want everything to go tumbling out the front. And to make our own sparkle sticks. Very cool. Really very interesting. Katie's very nice. It's the first time I've met her. And her mom was there as well. And I very much enjoyed chatting with them. So that's the second thing. Then we also had Susan Stanley. Don't you love that sticker? I love that sticker. I'm going to cut some of these things out and maybe just assemble a tiny little memory board and put some of the things like the sticker and the wax seal that the button was in and that kind of thing. So, okay. And so from Susan, she also did just a really beautiful presentation. We got all kinds of little goodies. Okay. And little cards. And finishing fabric and linen. To stitch Clara. Oh, look at that. And when everybody's so crazy about stand-ups right now, she's just perfect. This is Clara, 1876, designed by Susan. And we stitch her on 38 count legacy linen in heron gray. I love her. Very sweet. So clearly I've got some things to add to my 1776 folder. Now, this Clara came, you notice I said 1876, so that would have been, you know, at the centennial, and the presentation that she did was all on fashion, things that were happening for women at the time in 1876, and just, it was a fantastic presentation. She had a quilt that was just beautiful that she had reproduced, and it was just a really, really lovely presentation, and it was very nice to meet her as well. So then moving on, we had, and actually Vicki, Jeanette, and Megan Jeanette were our first presenters of the weekend, and they did a great presentation as well. And we got a couple of things from Vicki. You know, her love of ephemera and working on perforated paper. So she gave us this little project that we can do. You end up, you end up cutting her out, and it's a cool little project. But then she gave us, and it was funny, she said it was perfect that Susan was talking centennial, because she was going to be talking, what's the 150 years? I don't know what you say with that one. Is it semi-bicentennial then, maybe? Anyway, so this one was Harriet Jewett from 1825. And this is the first sampler that Vicki, and we got to go to Vicki's house, and oh my word, samplers galore. But in all her huge collection and all the shopping and the things that she has done, she's never found one that had the states listed on it. And so this one, Harriet, stitched all of this, and she stitched it with the current state of affairs. So as of 1825. So the states were Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware. And then she goes over here to list, that's because those are your 13 colonies. And then she goes over here to list the rest of these as well. And I believe that some of these at that time were territories. So that was just very interesting that it was very representative of what was happening in the United States in 1825. Very, very cool historical sampler. Really nice. And I think she gave us all of the DMC and I believe some tabby cat linen to stitch it on. Lots and lots of stuff here, so make sure I'm not dropping anything. Okay. Then next, Linda Vinson from Needle Made Designs had two different things for us. One being Elizabeth Pritchett, 1823, this gorgeous sampler. Now this one, we just have the chart. And then I'll show you in a minute what she did for a kit project. And isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love that. And then, so what we got for our kit were all of the goodies to take the Griffin and create like a mattress finish style pin pillow. Very cool. And so you got, all of the goodies. And if you've ever gotten a kit from Linda, she really gives you absolutely everything. So there's linen, needle, felt, interfacing, the board to put in the bottom to make the pillows stand really well, backing fabric. I mean, very, very complete. So that's what we received as the actual project, but you got, the Griffin from the sampler and then the actual sampler too. So put this back in this bag correctly here. I just don't want to make sure I'm not getting things all mixed up. So that was really interesting. And each one of these teachers, did a nice little presentation to go along with the project that they were giving us. And then because it was patriotic, also giving us maybe what was going on at the time in certain times of our country's history. So it was just really very interesting. Now this next couple of designers, when I tell you who it is, you're going to be like, not from the U.S. Fox and Rabbit. And the name of their presentation, which I thought was really funny, Bren did the presentation, he's so good with that, was how come Australians speak, or why Australians speak English and not French. And he went through that history of the time, and how Australia and, became Australia. And it turns out that he also, I believe he said 14 times, grandfather is John Alden, which if you're familiar with American history and the Mayflower, you're aware of the Alden family. And so he went through the history and how his side ended up being in Australia versus being here. And it was just really very interesting. And then Karen outdid herself with some very nice designing. Here's the huge project. Let me see if I can get those trims out of the way so you can actually see. So it's beautiful Betsy Ross needle book. Isn't that lovely? And then also Betsy's sampler. Love this, love it. And if you've followed me for any time, you know that I have a thing for Betsy Ross. My girls loved Betsy Ross. We've had them at the Betsy Ross house when we lived in the Philadelphia area. I've got pictures of them with their grandmother, who's now deceased, my husband's mother, when they were maybe 4 and 6 out in front of the Betsy Ross house. And then, I have postcards of the Betsy Ross house, everything all together, along with my new constellation. And so I was very excited to see a Betsy Ross themed project. So that was very good. And then bringing up the rear, but you could save best for last. We had Paulette from Plum Street Samplers, and I'm going to pull this out of the plastic so that you can see it better. And you've probably seen this all over social media, and I do have pictures that I will insert as well. But America 250. Oh, when she came out with this, we were all just gobsmacked. So beautiful. And then she went through all of the history and pointed out, like, the middles of her stars have a different flag, and it's basically the different flags that were flown in our early history until now. Oh, checks all the boxes if you're a patriotic stitcher. And of course, across the bottom, we hold these truths to be self-evident. I mean, it's just really, really beautiful. And again, like I said, I, insert pictures. So this was our kit from Paulette. And of course, came with these lovely little thread drops and all of the threads. I will say, she always kits with 36 count. And I am not a 36 count stitcher for the most part. So, after pulling a gazillion fabrics, I actually landed on 40 count Boston by Seraphim. And I think it's going to be beautiful. I matched it up to the pictures that I have. And I think it's going to be gorgeous. So, I hope to start this because I want to actually maybe have it finished by summer school of next year when this one comes out for general release. Oh, so that was just great. I mean, the projects were fantastic. Then Ray Niles of Red Barn Samplers got up and did just a quick little thing. This was kind of a gift from Jean, who, as you know, passed away earlier this year. Jean was the owner. She had seen this little Nantucket sampler, Eliza Macy, and wanted Ray to do it. And so Ray did. And of course, Jean passed. So Ray actually went ahead and gave every one of the participants in summer school this chart. It's a little one, 90 by 96, but very sweet, very sweet. So that was all of the design goodies. Then from the attic, we got a stitching block. Of course, it says Attic Needlework, We the People, Summer School 2025. Has the needle minder things, magnets on top, and the scissors holder all carved in. Very cool. And I actually have a couple of these. They got these from Suffolk Shaker Shop. It's Kathy and Bill, and I have a couple of these I've ordered from their shop. So I was very excited because I have 3 stitching spots in my house, and I have 2 of these, and now I have one for the 3rd stitching spot. But isn't that the sweetest? Love it, love it, love it. So those came from the attic. Then I'll just show you. I don't buy a whole lot of haul because, as you know, obviously I have a shop. But I do look for things that are different that I don't carry or whatever. And I found these lovely patriotic pins. These are Jersey Girl. So, can you see that? Love those. And I did pick up a band sampler, M. Woods, from Milady's Needle. And this picture is actually really good, but boy, when you see the model, oh, you just ooh and awe. Beautiful. So I did get that from just shopping. And boy, I'm running out of space to put everything. Showing you that. Now, typical retreat, you get up, you go somewhere, you come back, there's something at your place. And a couple of things were just at my place, and I was like, ooh, ah, when you come back. And this was Steph Knight, Lit Girl Stitches. I got to spend a little time chatting with her, and what a sweetheart. Absolutely love talking with her. Cute little bag of goodies. And let's see, Kim Hollyfield, I think so I say it, gave us cute little scissor fob, charm, and some threads. I don't know exactly where this came from, but it says Summer School 2025. Isn't that sweet? Then Jim, my girl Jim, met her for the first time at StitchCon this year, and just the sweetest lady. She gave me a little sticker, says Stitchin' Jim, and this beautiful berry. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm so happy. I have my basket of berries right behind me, and after I got finished with this, I wanted to show you, and it's going right into my basket of berries. So that was really sweet. A beautiful bracelet from sweet friend Sylvia. Button Man. Isn't he cute? And this one, again, didn't have a tag on it, but look at that. It's a bag full of goodies. Love this. Ugh. Again, if you're, if you're a patriotic stitcher, you just, you would have been in 7th heaven. There were lots of oohs and ahs happening this weekend. So that's just some of the goodies that I got. Minnie Beans Needlework Fripperies. Beautiful. Pins. I'm always looking for pins, so I was really thrilled to get some pins. Anyway, great weekend. I'm sure you probably are, seeing everybody's floss tubes or Instagram posts, whatever, but I thought I would go through it. because it just was really a great weekend. My first experience at summer school. We took a picture of all the newbies, and there were quite a few of us. I think they thought they were like a little around 50 out of the 175 who are all newbies. So it was just a great weekend, and a big thank you to Carolyn and her ladies from the attic. And it was just a real joy. You know, also being a newbie, there were a lot of faces that I knew, and so it's always a fantastic time to catch up with people that you haven't seen for a while, and make new friends as well, and just a joy again. Okay, we talked about vacation finish, the SAL wrap up, summer school. So what was happening also, I was running back and forth up to my room, and because we had Needlework Marketplace, the virtual online wholesaler show going on, and I did get just a few things for myself out of all of the shopping I did for the shop. Things have been arriving every day. My mailman, my UPS guy, my FedEx guy are all like, sure, going, what in the world? But anyway, so I'm just going to show you a couple of the things that I have kept for myself, but I also wanted to let you know there is a section in the shop that is marked, you know, Needlework Marketplace 25. So you can go there to see, you know, what's being added almost on a daily basis. And if you're interested in doing that. So one of the things that I kept for myself was Autumn Harvest from JBW. And I think this would be the sweetest. It's a 118 by 31. But wouldn't that be the sweetest if you did it like over one? I don't know, either over one or on like a 56 count maybe. Oh, I just think it's so sweet. Judy just does the most elegant little things. So another thing that I kept one for myself, but only because I already had this kit that came out last summer, I guess, from Country Sampler. But I had a friend who wanted to start it ASAP, and I knew I wasn't going to, so I gave her mine. And this is Julia Rachel de la Mer. This is from Cross Stitch Antiques. And so now I have the chart to go back with into my stash. But I'm probably still not going to start it, you know, anytime soon. But it's really a beautiful sampler. And if you follow Jackie Ahlstrom on Instagram, it's Jax, JAX444. She just finished this. Julia. Now she did some changing, and I think she posted all of her changes with threads, and she did some even some tea and coffee dyeing of some of the threads to get the colors that she wanted. But I think this is just a beautiful, beautiful sampler. So there's Julia, and so that one came out at Marketplace. I can figure out where to put things. Holy moly. And then I did purchase a new to the shop designer, Lola Crow. And I added quite a few things to my shop of hers. But this is one that when I was in Portland, I went to Acorns and Threads on Saturday before we were flying out. And Janine had a trunk show going from Lola Crow. And so I got to see the model of this. There were no charts because the charts, you know, were set up to come out at Marketplace. So I was able to order one, but oh, I love this. This is so cool. It's stitched on Mirage from Picture This Plus. It's all in DMC. And I just think it's really cool. And I think it would look really cool up here with my Sleepy Hollow. Isn't that cool? So if you're interested in Lola Crow, we have her in the shop now. Okay. Lots of other goodies as well. So take a look if you get a chance. Okay, so okie-dokie. Okay, so I'm just going to go through some quick little plans. And then I have a couple of giveaways. And we'll wrap this up because I'm going on almost an hour. So in September, Autumn and Hawk Run Hollow, Noel sampler. So I plug those in Fridays and the 25th. My goal is to finish Midnight Watch, finish Eliza Hills. I have some homework for Humming of the Bees to do. I have some self-assigned homework, not a SAL with anybody else. Humming of the Bees is a SAL with the Hill Country Stitchers. But some SAL homework for me, assignment homework for me, is Let Freedom Ring. And then probably we'll throw some more stitches into Liberty House as well. And then I'm gonna have to start something, guys. I just have to. So I pulled out 3 things that I want to start. I'll show you those. I don't know that I'll start them in September. It may be October, but they're getting a start. So first one. Now, I showed this on my floss tube. I guess it was my last one in July, because I had a couple of people message me about Ghost Pumpkin, and I had seen it when I was at StitchCon. It was not yet available. So I emailed Lori from La Di Da, and she's like, oh yes, that was a class kit, and it was definitely well past the year, so it can be released. And so I said, well, could you send me some? She did. I got maybe 20, 25 of them, and they were gone within 48 hours. I couldn't even believe it. So she sent me another 30. I think we've gone through most of those, and then it finally hit Hoffman. And so I ordered, some more through Hoffman. And as soon as I had gotten mine, of course, I, had it all kitted up and have it in my little pumpkin bag. And so Ghost Pumpkin is definitely getting a start. If anybody's interested in stitching this together, stitch along, impromptu, message me and let's do it. We can do that. We can come up with our own hashtag. It could just be hashtag Ghost Pumpkin. Anyway, so that's definitely getting a start. Then I think I'm going to start this one in September because it is Sampler September. But this piece also is, in my mind, very autumnal in nature. I am a Rhode Island sampler girl. I love those the best. And I've wanted to stitch this one forever and a day. And that is Elizabeth Easton from The Good Housewife. I love it. So I believe that this one is going to get a start this month. So chances are I'll be starting Ghost Pumpkin and Elizabeth Easton as my 2 new starts for this month. So, and then maybe I won't show you this. Maybe I'll show you this for October. Maybe this will be my October start. I have actually started this one before and didn't like linen, and so it's a restart. And that's Jack's Bash from Plum Street Samplers. So I am going to show you. I am showing you. So, but I don't think it's going to get a start this month. I think that's going to get a start in October. So, okay. Excuse me. So there's plans. Let's do a couple of giveaways. I have 3 things here. When you order from Sarah Anita, Cecilia, she will send you, because it's fairly expensive for the shipping because her things come from Italy, and so she will always give you extra charts that you can either sell if you want to cover your cost of shipping or give away or whatever the case may be. So I got a couple that I'm going to give away. A couple that she gave and I actually put into the shop. So this one is called Passaggio di Autunno, which is actually autumn landscape in Italian. It's really a beautiful farm scene. It's almost like if you were going to a pumpkin farm to buy pumpkins, and that's what you would see. It's a really beautiful scene. So if you're interested in this one, just say autumn landscape. I won't make you say the Italian. So that's really pretty. So that's the first one. The second one, for more of the Halloween stitcher, this is Hocus Pocus. Lots of little designs and motifs and things in here that you could actually stitch. So it wouldn't have to be like one thing. You could stitch all different kinds of things if you wanted to. So if you like this one, Hocus Pocus is the word to use in your comment. And remember, no, don't use the word freebie or giveaway or anything like that. We want to make sure stitchers get these things. And then this one, I got last year at Hobby House from Tanya, Scarlet House, and Vicki Jeanette, Needlework Press. And it's 18 count perforated paper. And it's called Inspired by Lucy Ann. This is the actual sampler. This is the perforated paper version that they did. And I don't think I'll stitch it. The sampler that we got, I will probably stitch, but I'm just, I'm not a big fan of the bigger projects on perforated paper. Small things I don't mind. I just don't think I'll stitch it. And rather than leaving it sit somewhere in a pile, let's give it to somebody who will. So if you're interested in this one, just say Lucy Ann. Lucy Ann. Again. Okay. So there's the 3 giveaways. Have I covered everything? I think I have. I've had your time for an hour now. I think that's probably pretty good. So we'll call it a day. Happy Labor Day. I hope you enjoyed everything you saw. Throw me a comment if you wish. And happy September. Happy fall decorating. If you're one who, like me, is starting to switch everything over. Or maybe you already have. I'm seeing some pictures for sure on Instagram of people who are already doing all their decor. And it gets me kind of excited. I mentioned to a friend of mine that this is the first time this year that I've been kind of excited about actually switching my decor. I can go up and down the steps to get the stuff without having to ask my husband to bring a box up, which, you know, might be that day or a week later before he does it. And so I can kind of, you know, putz around the house and move things around and do it on my own. And so it makes it a little more, you know, exciting for me. So I started that this weekend. I'm going to finish some more of it today. And then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to figure out which one of these things I'm going to stitch on. And I'm going to stitch the rest of the evening because my husband went to Springfield to join up with his buddies for draft day for fantasy football. He won't be back till tomorrow night. So I got a few things to do for the shop. And we're not working today. It's a postal holiday. And it's also a holiday for us. So there you go. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll be a return viewer and subscriber. Thanks if you were stuck it out with me for this hour today. And remember to create every day. Take care now. Bye-bye.